answer is He Tangata, He Tangata, He Tangata. It's the people, it's the people, it's the people. It's very timely to talk about it today, and I like the fact that Kath has already talked about a lot of the things that we have found. We've been working with families on Zoom way before COVID. In fact, we knew all about Zoom before COVID hit because from the beginning we wanted to reach out those families who couldn't. So back to the beginning. So the program that I want to talk about is called Now or Next. And here's a QR code. If you want, there's more data than I can talk about. There's going to be a QR code at the end also, so in case you decided it's worth. So a SIP-informed program that is parent-led. So I want to talk about what is SIP. So our research team is, in this case, these people, but we actually are connected to 10 universities with this program. And a few words about me. These are my children. My youngest child was born is on the spectrum, and he developed a passion for art and started painting at the age of 16 and plus, and he represented New Zealand at the United Nations a few years ago. But what started me going on this path is that the Minister for Disability in New Zealand asked me, how come there are no more families like us? And until then, I didn't realize that actually it was different. So I set up to Chris. She put out the challenge to me to create this program. So we went on to it. I co-founded the company, and we launched the first version of the program on the basis of what my partner and I, so I have a partner in Australia, Silvana Mamik, and we launched our first version of the program, but we wanted to have it co-designed with the parents also. So we wanted to unpack everything and exit interviews, etc. So we've done a co-design with about 500 families. So what is system? So today we're going to talk about what is system-informed positive psychology, a bit of background and the frameworks that we use, our theory of change, how we develop a pathway for emerging family leaders, and the implementation both of the Now Next program and the tools that we use, a lot of strength-based positive psychology tools that we had to design for that. Some of a little bit of evidence and outcome. And if you get the QR code, there's a lot more materials in case you're interested in more data. Just a word before. So Peggy Kern coined the concept of system-informed positive psychology. So expanding the topic onto beyond the individual scope, so onto with family, with the education system, society. So these are the levels that you're going to see me go through now. So when we talk about making some change, and there is no question that change has to happen in the disability sector, because there is an imbalance between who the actors are. There's a lot more deficit-based attitude amongst some of the traditional players. So when parents encounter a diagnosis, or they are told, well, your child has a disability. I was told that my child will need my help all his life, and that is very overwhelming for parents. And so we're trying to think which is the lever of change. So in a system theory of that was put up by Meadows, the mindset paradigm, the paradigm shift is right on the top, which is the point with the most leverage. So if we want to change the system, we can't really go to the practitioners because they've been there a long time. They're kind of promoting the same system. So we thought that we would go to parents, because parents have skin in the game, really. So if we look at our theory of change, on the top, we see that what we want to do is we want to build family capacity through participation. We would like the families to step in action mode, which is a lot of what you're talking about, like what you do with your child. And that they will already create a lot of change. So we work with programs with families, and they do a number of programs. Amongst these families, we identify those families who want to who come to us and say, whatever I experience in the program, I want other parents to experience, to train me. So we train them, and these are our emerging leaders. And we also work with the professionals in the field, because if we want some change to happen, we have to have the professionals reinforce that change on the other side. So, and we're based on positive psychology, family leadership at the bottom, and we move through this. In each of these groups, we create networks and groups so that these groups experience a collective benefit mindset, a collective change of mindset, not just an individual one. So a quick word about what happens when parents bring up their young child, and from birth to 18, we want parents to be able to bring up children who have choice and control when they become adults. But how does this happen? Because often, so that we have an inverted triangle that says the more you, with each stage of development, you need to hand out more control and let your child do some mistakes at some point. So we work on 3 levels. The first level is the individual one. Level 2 is the one where people training and impact their community. And level 3 is growing community leaders. I'll pass on this. Okay, so this is a tool that we built, but I don't have enough time. If you then download this, you'll see we've done a tool called a game for parents to design their goals. If we have time later, I will show you. The tool is non-verbal. Parents can use it in their language, and they often go back home and use the tool with their non-disabled children. But the one thing that I wanted to talk to you about is that this tool allows parents to identify their own agencies. What is it that I can do myself to help my child develop? So the results, so this is just overall on the community that we're working with. The results is that parents achieve 3 types of goals: individual goals for themselves, for their child, and for their family. And these are the results on empowerment, hope, and well-being, and as well as the negativity part, which is the PERMA tool. And there are children outcomes with child increasing positive relationships in the family, doing more communication, and at the level of parents developing their leadership, they self-report that the program helped them develop leadership at the individual level and at the community level. So, to conclude, the evidence shows that it's possible to improve the engagement of the family, because we have that type of data, to build the capacity and to grow emerging leaders, because we want them to actually go and continue teaching these things. And can family participation be a lever of change in the system? Yes, we found that it can, and we're very happy that we've been working with in 4 countries so far, and we work with families in Vancouver from New Zealand, and next week they've asked me to stay after the conference, and we're going to have a family reunion, so we're going to do it common, I guess. So far I've only seen them on Zoom. Great, thank you very much.